Okay, so if we multiply straight across the top, 4r times 10 is 40r. Straight across the bottom, 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, we need to reduce that, right? We always reduce fractions. Those are both divisible by 2. So that's 20r over 9. So it is definitely B. Well, let's use a little bit of common sense here. Even if you're not entirely sure what to do with this whole process, what answer choices do you think that we should probably eliminate? How about we eliminate, okay, somebody said C, because C doesn't even have a variable in it. Where would it have gone? Okay, probably should eliminate A, because where did R squared come from? We just have R in the problem. And then, yeah, D, because why would that variable end up in the denominator? So really, you don't need to know that much about this process in this problem. Now, are all of them going to be that obvious? No. But in this problem, you really should eliminate all the answer choices but the correct one, okay? I'll show you how to convert this in Desmos on a problem that's a little bit more complicated. Let's look at number 2. Okay, let's look at number 2. It's already in factored form. We are not going to multiply all this stuff out. Okay, we are not going to multiply all this stuff out because we are able to cancel things when it's in factored form. So we're going to keep it in factored form. But let's think about this. If we multiply fractions, we go straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So really, this is going to become one big happy fraction. We're going to put parentheses around the terms that were in the second fraction, because we haven't done anything with them. We're just combining them, okay? And when it's one big happy fraction, anything that shows up in the numerator and in the denominator that looks exactly the same, we can cancel. So we can cancel the 7n plus 2. We can cancel the 7n minus 6. We are left with the n minus 8 over 10. That's all there is to it. Okay, so then when we get to number 3, number 3 is not in factored form, but we can fix that. We can put it in factored form, right? First numerator is just a number, so we leave it. First denominator has a GCF of 4. Pull out a 4. We're left with m minus 9. It's just going to become one big fraction, so I'm going to go ahead and make it one big fraction. The second numerator, we can factor out a GCF of 12. And the second denominator, we can factor out a GCF of 18. So let's see here, what can we cancel? We can cancel the m minus 2's. We need to multiply 10 times 12, that's 120. We need to multiply 4 times 18. That is 72. And then we simplify the 120 over 72. Now, what do we think that the answer is going to be? If you look at the answer choices, before I even do this, which one's the only one that really makes sense? D, because it's the only one that's got an m minus 9 in the denominator. So this should simplify to 5 over 3. It does. Okay, it does simplify to the 5 over 3. 120 over 72 is the 5 over 3, and the m minus 9 is in the denominator. Okay. Now, just in case you're a little unsure about that one, we can put this in Desmos, okay? You can type it in exactly how it looks. 10 over 4m, no, we don't use m, 4x minus 36 times, there's a times button down here when you click on the keyboard, times, or you can do Shift 8. And just type in the original problem, 12x minus 24 over 18x minus 36. Obviously, this takes more time than factoring, but if you're just really not good at the factoring, then this is a method you can use. So I'm just going to adjust it so I can see the graph, and then I'm going to put in our answer. 5 over 3 times x minus 9. Whoops. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to confirm by making that appear and disappear that that is the exact same graph. Okay, so it takes more time to use Desmos to do these, but it works on every single one of them. Now, I really point that out because when we get to division, the only difference between multiplication and division with fractions is that if you divide by a fraction, you flip and multiply. You multiply by the reciprocal. So on number 4, now I know that's technically not a fraction, okay? However, let's put that over 1. The first one does not change, okay? 3a over 9 does not change. You turn that into multiplication and you flip it over. So times 1 over 2a. Then it's multiplication like we were just doing. That becomes one big fraction. We can cancel anything that shows up in the top and in the bottom, so you can cancel those a's. And then we've got 3 over 9 times 2, so 3 over 18 is equal to what? 1/6. So in this case, the variable did cancel. And that happens sometimes. So that's okay. Let's look at number 5. Again, it's in factored form, so the only thing we need to do is to mark this out and flip it over. And we're looking for anything that shows up in the numerator and in the denominator exactly the same. So 5n minus 3, top and bottom, 6n, top and bottom. What are we left with? N plus 4 over n minus 9. It's as easy as that. Now, number 6, I could take the time to factor all those things, and that would be great practice if I'm really trying to practice my factoring skills. So I'm going to go ahead and start that process. That numerator has a GCF of 8x squared. If we pull it out, we're left with x minus 5. Now that I've factored it, I'm just going to mark that out so I'm not distracted by it. The denominator, I can pull out a 6. That's 6 times x plus 5. X plus 5. Be careful with your signs, because those don't actually cancel. I'm going to flip this one over, so my 8x squared is in the denominator. And this is becoming multiplication. And this goes to the numerator. I'm going to factor out a GCF of 2 first. They're all divisible by 2. And then I'm going to factor x squared minus 5x minus 50. X minus 10 times x plus 5. So I'm done with that one. I factored it. I'm done with that one. I factored it. So what do we have? Exactly the same numerator and denominator. 8x squared, x plus 5. What do we have left? We've got x minus 5, a 2, an x minus 10, and a 6. So let's look. I've got an x minus 5 and an x minus 10 in answer choice D. It's over 3. Well, 2 over 6 reduces to 1 over 3. So it is D. Now, really quickly, let me show you in Desmos, when you put in this division on Desmos, it makes it one big fraction. So you just need to be aware of that. Get rid of all this stuff. Okay. So start your fraction. Our first thing was 8x cubed minus 40x squared over 6x plus 30. Whoa.